Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. So, running a little late tonight, but it's gonna be a good one. And this one, I promise you, I know I keep promising, but this one actually will be pretty relatively short. So, did a lot of stuff this weekend. Got some good things ready to go for the garden. Actually, I got them implemented into the garden, so it's looking really good. Went out to a brewery, and you'll see some highlights on that. And then got a chance to drive to San Antonio and back. So a little bit busy for me this weekend. But just wanted to let you know the garden is looking great. The two carrots that are coming in strong. I put up a lattice work. I'll show you all next weekend what I got going on. I put up some lattice work around the loofah so that the loofah will grow because loofah wants to grow on a lattice and not as a vine along the ground like the watermelons do. So, and then going to the watermelons, they're coming along strong. I'm gonna have to do some pruning, which means what I'm gonna have to do is make a determination on the four quadrants what watermelons are growing as far as the vining goes, and then I'm gonna have to get rid of the rest. So unfortunately, I don't have a big enough room for all of them, all the ones that are growing. At least maybe not. I'll have to look at them and see the garden bed this week, see what I can do. And I'm still getting some projects going on there. So, what are you growing in your garden? I'd like to hear from you out there and see what you're growing. And maybe we can get a barter system going on between myself, farmers James and Zaida, and then farmers James and Julia. I know they're growing some stuff as well. So it'll be interesting to see what we get, and then if we're able to barter with someone out there. So tell me what you got, and tell me how it's going for you so far. It's been really hot this week. It's supposed to be kind of hot next week. We're only in the middle of May, and yet it's beginning to feel like deep summer. So I'm not looking forward to the summer as far as the temperatures go, though it might be good for my yard and my garden. So we'll have to take a look at that. So on our way back from San Antonio, Brother Rob and I decided that we were going to stop and get a bite to eat because we were feeling a bit peckish. And so we wound up at Pinthouse Brewing, our Pinthouse Brewery. They're called Pinthouse Brewing, and it's actually where all the beer or most of the beer is made for Pinthouse Pizza. So they have a brick and mortar store for their brewery. It looks like it's still relatively new. It's got that clean, ultra clean look to it, and it's off of Ben White. So if you're off of 35 and Ben White and you want to check them out, I definitely recommend it. Their brewer's board, as they called it, which is just a type of charcuterie, is fantastic. So we're going to take a look at that. We might have some other things, but that's going to be our beer point. So I'll bring up some other updates and what's next for Javier in the Air. So I wanted to let some people know that the music today was Little Maps, Just With You. So the song was Just With You by a group called Little Maps. I try to bring as much recognition to the music as I have. It's music being used by my editing software, so it's a royalty free for me. But I want to at least get some recognition for those people out there. So we'll take a look at that. We'll look and see what maybe the next one will be, or what I might be doing for our Zen moment. I'm not sure if I'm going to get one in today or not. So we'll take a look. But let's take a look at Pinthouse Brewing and see what we did out there. Okay, so here we are at the Pinthouse. I wish I would have zoomed in a little bit more on that menu, but they had a lot of items at the Pinthouse that were theirs, mostly theirs, and then they had a few that weren't. Here's the brewing installation part of Pinthouse Brewing, and you can see the large vats and everything like that. I wish they had something going so we could see it. We could have seen it in action, but we didn't. So no worries. So then we ordered beers, of course, but then we ordered something called a brewer's board. As you see, there's some apricot jelly, candy cashews, pimento cheese, 2 types of ham, some toast bits, a nice mustard, and some olives. So there's beer one, I believe, going down smooth. I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was pretty good. This one was okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. It turned out to be pretty good. That was number two. And then beer number three was a little bit higher in ABV. I believe it was like 9.4, something like that. So we finished out the day by splitting this one and then driving on home. Okay, so here is straighten out my shirt there for everyone. There is the Pinthouse Brewing. We had a really good time there. Brother Rob and I drove back, and then we went to, or actually he went back to his house. I drove home and then had a nice moon session with neighbors James and Zada. So it turned out to be a really nice Saturday afternoon. Now Sunday, which is today, I really didn't get much going on. I needed to get some stuff done, but it was so stinking hot outside. I went out for a walk in the morning and was like, I don't know if I could do it. So I didn't do it. So it's just that's why we're gonna have to wait on some of the stuff I talked about last week, and we're gonna have to wait till next week on do it. But before we go into a really good place to eat downtown, I just want to let everybody know that I am still working on things, still working on trying to get people on the show. I know I had a couple this season. I'd like to get another handful if I can. I'm still looking for a co-host who might like to come in and do some hosting with me. We can go over some topics. We'll skirt politics and religion if we can. 99% chance of skipping around there and not having anything like that there. But certainly bring up some of today's events and talk about them and have a discussion. Maybe even get more than two people, which would be nice. I'd like to have some more people out on the patio, and so we'll see how that goes and see what I can do with that. So I'd like to also going to continue with the garden, update everything, and I'll have some pictures and movies next week. And then I'd like to get a tournament going if I could. Either poker or Moon or some other games. If you're interested in playing some games, shoot me a message. Let me know, and I'll get you on the list. I'm building a list already. I have a couple names on it. And so it'll be interesting to see what tournament we can get going, and then I can have some video from there as well. So I know we've lowered, or not we, but CDC has lowered some of the restrictions, and Texas has lowered some of the restrictions as well. So we can now have some parties again and some tournaments where we have more than like 5 people. So I'm still going to request that people around that come around to my place be vaccinated, at least the first 2 shots. As far as the first and second booster goes, it would be nice if you got it done. But if you didn't, but you had the first 2, then that's okay. I'm okay with that. But I'd still like to have at least the first 2 shots done, or the one, what is it, Johnson & Johnson one, if you got that done. But I'd like to do that in order to keep my friends safe and to make sure that it keeps myself safe and I don't pass it on to anybody else. And yes, I'm vaccinated. So, looking good there. So let's go ahead and so now that I've been working in downtown for about a month now, I'm beginning to hit some somewhat famous and somewhat familiar names for people out there as far as eating goes. I went and ate at Gus's Fried Chicken. Had some chicken tenders there. Real good, like chicken tenders, like this size, not little nuggets or anything like that. It wasn't pre-formed and then cooked. This is just like chicken that they cut and breaded and then fried. So probably shouldn't have done it, but it was good, so it was definitely worth it. And all the sides were good as well. I've been to the Texas Chili Parlor, which I might have to hit again soon. Really good place. It's really a dive, hole-in-the-wall place, but it's been there forever. And if you've been downtown, you've probably gone there, or you have at least heard about it. And then one other place that I hit that's relatively new down there, called Kava, and it's kind of an equivalent of a Chipotle or Subway type thing, but it's Greek. So you pick your vegetables basically, and then you pick your protein, and then you get a bunch of sauces with it, and a bunch of small sides with it, and stuff like that. So I wound up getting um, saffron rice with tzatziki and a bunch of other stuff, a couple of hummuses, and then for my protein, I had some spicy lamb meatballs thrown in. Just wasn't a big bowl, but it was perfect. Turned out real good, and so I was really happy about that. So the one I want to show you is actually down 7th Street on the other side of 35. So I work on the inside of 35. This is on the outside of 35 off of 7th Street. And it was called Kebablicious. I know some people are familiar with it that I talked to. Said it was fantastic. It was another Greek style food, and it was really, really good. So let's take a look at some of the pictures that I got from Kebablicious. Okay, so here's the menu for Kebablicious. You choose your kebab style and size, your protein, and then you choose two sauces, and then you have any add-ons, and then they also have specialty ones as you see here on this extension of the menu board. So I got a wrap with pork and lamb. I'm sorry, beef and lamb, and some more tzatziki sauce, just like I did with kava. So this is a really interesting place. It's off of 7th. You can see they actually turned it into a quite little good yard. So basically, they took out the front yard. From what I can tell, it looks like it's an original house, and they put up some nice shading, some nice picnic tables, and they have a little kind of an inside area. There's the inside area you can see with the little lattice on there, and it was really cool on the inside. Lots of fans going, so it was really nice. We wound up having some bread, and then this was my wrap, and it was pleasantly nice and spicy, and it had all the great stuff in it. It was really wound up really great at Kebablicious. Okay, so there you have it, Kebabalicious. Really spectacular food, like I said. I couldn't have asked for a better lunch. So if you work or used to work down in the downtown area, I'm currently, I don't want to give exact, let's just say somewhere around 10th and Trinity is where I work. And if you used to work in that area and you know any good places within walking distance of that location, shoot me a message and let me know. Maybe I can get to it and have a little video of what's going on there and have something to eat. So that'll be good. But I'm going to limit it to maybe no more than once a week, twice a week if my boss asks, because I'm really just, it's just too much for me to eat out more than twice a week. It's not good for me overall. So, but I mean the food is great, but it's not good for me overall. So let's give a pass on that. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was what do you do on long drives? So what do you do for, say, a long commute, or even for a long road trip? What do you like to listen to? What do you like to play? And this is for if it's just you, or if there's multiple people on your tour, on your trip, on your escapade, on your high adventure, whatever you want to call it. What do you like to do to while the time, as far as orally, Aurully, I think is how you would spell it. So for your ears, the music. And I understand some of my viewers may not be able to hear. So what do you do then? I like to hear from you. No pun intended. So definitely for what kind of music do you listen to? What kind of things do you do? Do you just turn on the video for your kids, or for your spouse, or for your significant other, and then you zone away in your own thing? Or do you try to get the entire group involved if you're with a group? If you're by yourself, what do you like to listen to? I am now getting back into some of the music that I have squirreled away on a CD spindle. Yes, I said that. You're right. CD spindle. For those of you that aren't old enough to know what that is, for those of you who do know what that is, yes, you're old. So I picked up an MP3 player for about $30, and I am now loading it with various types of music, and I will listen to that on my commute on the way home and on the way to the office. So wish me luck. I'll see how this week goes. I've already loaded about. Let me see if I can call that up here. Yes, I think I can. Who is this? Oh, okay. So some of the music that I'm listening to now is pretty sweet. So for those of you who were a kid in the '80s, like I was, you're going to be familiar with some of this. Some of this is even bleed into the '90s. So, for example, I just loaded it up and I ripped the CD so I could drop it onto the MP3 player. Now, some of these I found before anybody else did, and some of these people were very familiar with. Now, this group is from the '80s. They're called the Goo Goo Dolls. Now, a lot of people are very familiar with the Goo Goo Dolls from their second album onward. That's when they got really famous. So, if you haven't heard it, their first album was called Superstar Car Wash, and it's actually a really good album. I think it's better than some of the other albums they put out the years after that. So, if you have a chance and you have it, dust it off, load it up, rip that CD, and then listen to it how you can listen to it. Best of Glass Tiger. Yes, I'm dating myself. Best of Glass Tiger. Here's one that both my brother and I really liked. The Bodines. The Bodines. Love and Hope and Sex and Dreams. So those were fantastic. Here's a group you probably haven't heard of. I found them listening to the what is that place called that's owned by Chevy Chase? In New Orleans and other places. I can't remember. If I can remember, if you remember, let me know and tell me what it is, and I'll get it on the next show. But this is a band called the Caulfields. The Caulfields, really good, and I would listen to it when they would play from that bar and restaurant, and they would have it on. I think they had it on VH1. MTV had already gone the way of the fossil, and they had stopped playing music on MTV. That's right, they stopped playing music on MTV. A friggin' disgraceful thing. Another group I saw on there were the Connells. This is Ring. And then I have some really crazy stuff out here that we'll go into next time. But that's pretty much what I loaded up. And so I have about, looks like I have 120 songs, which is more than enough for me to get home and back. But I'm going to keep loading this MP3 player up until I can't, and then I'll be able to mix and match and have everything on there. So this is my small spindle of music, which I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are big fans of the '80s and stuff. Here's When the Rubber Meets the Road by Meatloaf. How about let's see, that's another Bat Out of Hell one. Go West, Aces and Kings, the best of Go West. Yes, again, I'm dating myself. Here's one that you probably have never seen before. This is called Do Something, put out by Sony Music, and it's from Taco Bell. It's from Taco Bell. That's right. So Taco Bell had a promotion back in the 90s, and if you bought something or other, some new burrito or some BS like that, you got the CD. So I bought the CD out of it. The Hooters. If you thought Nervous Night was the only one, this is Out of Body. This is one that was actually done in 1993. It looks like. Ice House, Man of Colors, a bunch of Enya. The Cranberries. So yes, the best of the Gypsy Kings. So if you're a music aficionado like I am, specifically of the '80s, then you should come by sometime and check out my collection of CDs. Yes, I said CDs. Eventually, I might just get them onto this MP3, and then I'll have them, and I can put them back in storage like I have them in storage right now. So I have a spindle that's double this size and I'll be ripping music, and we'll be talking a little bit about music on the upcoming episode. So there you have it. We got the brewery in, we got the Kebablicious. I think we did quite well. So this is going to be a really short one, like I said. It's already almost 10 o'clock, so I think it's time for me to turn into a pumpkin or lose my glass slipper, however you want to look at it. And I'm going to bid you adieu. If you want to get on the show, you have a mom and pop business, and you'd like to be on the show and talk a little bit about it, or if you're looking to express your opinions about some of the things that I've brought up. Remember, no religion, no politics, but I'd love to have you on the show. So we're going to call this one done, and I hope you have enjoyed. And next week I will definitely have beer from the Boutique. I might even get Brother Rob over here sometime towards the end of the week to have a little tasting. So, or I might have someone. If you're interested in having a tasting out on my patio, let's do it. I'm up for it. Always up for going out on my patio now. So let's check it out. So I hope you have a good week. I hope everything is going well for you and your family. And I will see you again next week. Thanks a lot, everyone.